Greetings, everyone. This is just a impromptu moment with your shaman, your sister and spirit, me. And as you can see, I am doing an energy reading, and I really just wanted to hop on and kind of go back to my roots of who I am and like what I'm doing here. So, I have my favorite cards here. I have my favorite oracle stones here. And for those of you who kind of know a little bit about my story, or who don't know about my story, I'm gonna start shuffling this here, so you can kind of get the flow, get the vibe of everything that's going on. So when I started my shamanic practices, I started out just doing shamanic readings, okay, and these were the extensions by which that I did these readings. And I actually did them at these full moon events that were hosted out at Luna Blue out in Smithfield. And shout out to Luna Blue. And literally the decks that I would use, this feels good to me, are my Healing Oracle Crystal Reading deck and by Rachel Charman, and my chakra reading cards, which is also by Rachel Charman. So like I actually didn't know that it was by the same person until literally right now. And I love these decks. Like they feel truly like an extension of me. I was charging like I don't know, can anybody remember? Like is anybody watching this that was there? Maybe like what, 10? Was I charging like $10 like for a reading? And it just gave me this beautiful warm up. And so by coming back here, by doing my first reading, I think of this year on my YouTube page, I wanted to go back to my roots. I wanted to go back to these cards that have really walked with me for a minute. And they feel so good. They just feel so good to me. And then of course going through my friends, like my oracle stones. So let's get right into the reading. Okay. So the first deck that I'm going to be working with is the crystal reading deck. And really, I'm here just to receive a message for the greatest and highest good for those that find this video. So thank you so much for these high vibrations, for this moment in time where we get to spend together in light and love, in truth and honesty, just allowing us the opportunity to deliver a message. My favorite song to sing now is a song that I wrote usually to try to like pull out some messages, which we did get a card here. We got the Sunstone Empowerment card. Do you have a message for the world? And if you had a message, could I share it? If there was a message for the world, and if I sang the message, would it sound like ooh, ooh, ooh. We have a message for our friends here. That's too many. One card, please and thank you, from the chakra deck. Here we go. Thank you. That was the same card that popped out earlier. Okay. So we have Sunstone, which is about empowerment, and we have Spiritual Awakening from the chakra deck. All right. So before I kind of like intuitively read it, I do just want to go over what directly the book is saying. So, um, this is talking about this next part of the journey and being assisted and encouraged to step fully into your power on all levels. You may have been feeling a lack of energy, direction, and clarity in your life, which can be a sign that you're giving over your power. It's now time to let go and heal whatever has held you back from embracing your full potential and power. If you've been sitting on the sidelines, it's now a perfect time to dance into your own light. You're encouraged to listen to your own intuition, and if you have been compromising yourself due to fear of others' rejections, you're being encouraged to stop any self-sabotaging behavior. It's time for you to speak up for what you believe in. And as you step further into your power, you will know exactly what to say and how to say it in a diplomatic and compassionate way. Know that you are a strong and empowered person, and it is time to be seen and heard. The world needs people like you to step up and shine your light. Work closely with Sunstone because this medicine will assist you greatly in dissolving any fears that may hold you back from truly awakening your personal power, allowing you to shine in all of your magnificence. And then we have Spiritual Awakening, okay? And Spiritual Awakening, this card is saying that it is a powerful time for awakening. The whole planet and everything on it is waking up slowly from a big sleep. The ancients called it the time of the awakening. Our hearts are opening and expanding to experience a deeper sense of love and wisdom. This time is an important rite of passage for you, and you are waking deeper into a deeper sense of your spiritual being. Your awareness is expanding, and your connection to the wisdom of the universe is stronger than ever. And sometimes this can be uncomfortable and challenging. However, always remember that through these challenges, you have the ability to grow. You're being asked to let go of anything that is stopping you from experiencing this deep connection at present. It's time to discard old beliefs and bring in new ones that support your growth. Make sure to nurture this process by meditating, attending a weekly spiritual group, or reading books that can assist, pardon me, in this powerful process. Your vibration and energy are moving to a more refined state of being, and you are currently receiving divine messages and healing as you deepen your spiritual awareness. This can mark a great time of change, where what you knew to be true is restructured and a whole new understanding is birthed within you. And all good things take time, so be patient with this awakening and trust the process. Pardon me. This card can also indicate that the question you're asking or requiring clarity on has a big connection to your spiritual growth, and the answers lie within this new spiritual awakening. Some pretty amazing messages. I got a phone call there. I'm gonna reach into the bag here and see who comes out. Tiki. I love her. All right. So since Tiki's the one that came out, I'm gonna talk a little bit about who she is, what her energy is, what messages she brings, and I'm going to allow the vibration of this to kind of seal the deal of what the true message is that's trying to get out today. Okay. So Tiki is the second progression of the 4 oracle stones that I have. She loves to have fun. Okay, she loves to have fun that feels like playfulness. Okay, it feels like interacting with the world around her, especially with people. She really loves social life. She really loves blending energies with people. And she has this very high vibrational energy, like, hey, what's going on? How are you? Everything's good, right? Now, what can happen when Tiki can get out of balance, like hyperactive, is that she can kind of pull a little bit of like ADHD, anxiety, manic kind of behavior. Okay. And so very quickly she can get disorganized, she can get really flustered, her mind can get extremely distracted very quickly. And so what this is, oh, when in balance, she can be very good at connecting with others, at putting pieces of the puzzle together, of like seeing a bigger picture with all of these smaller pieces happening. Um, and so really recognizing that if we are that there is no good or bad about her. Okay. Like we're talking about like when she's in balance, which means following the path of ease and effortlessness, which still has this high energy, or maybe having so much high energy for too much of like too much time can really begin to drain her. But because of her nature to want to be involved, she's probably going to continue to be involved in it. And so she's not going to take the time that she needs in order to replenish her energy and really be in a place where like she is just like her, you know, really getting involved with what she likes, what she knows, really getting involved with taking time away. All right. This can be kind of the things that needs to be done in order for her to get into balance, because she can get really, really over involved in her community, in her tribe, in her friendships, in her work, in everything, in everything. All right. So, what this whole picture is telling me is that basically, I feel that there's a group of people here that are really known to be like a beautiful, bright, sunny person in a lot of people's lives, like a very grounded, maybe kind of pulling into some people pleasing behaviors. Okay. And this person really has an upbeat perspective on life. And now is the time to really begin to understand the importance of what it means to accept life on life's terms. Okay. So if you are feeling drained, if you are feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling unorganized with your life, if you feel that life is kind of hitting you too fast and too hard, know that this is a part of your spiritual awakening, and that it is really brought here to bring you a sense of empowerment, because it's so simple to get over involved with the external world. It's so stimulating. There's so many colors and sounds and people and feelings and emotions and concepts and belief systems of like where we are needed and where our worth lies and why we are worthy and where we are worthy. But our worth, our empowerment, our light does not come by us over giving and giving too much of ourselves. Okay. We are enough. We are spiritual beings because we are spiritual beings. We are strong, powerful, and worthy because we are. It is not the oversharing, the overgiving, the not taking time for self that makes you worthy. Okay. So, in this kind of hyperactive energy, the spiritual awakening that's coming in is asking you to take a pause from this I'm out here and I'm involved with everything kind of mentality, and really accepting the fact that you're kind of like starting to burn out a little bit, and not burn out in terms of ways that you might be wanting, that you might be falling into deep rest, but that might be it as well. But you might be burning out a bit in where you kind of feel like all of the pieces of your life are kind of falling apart, and that you aren't able to grasp out. There's too many pieces to the puzzle that you're trying to put together, and you're so hyper involved with it that in order for Tiki to be functioning well, she has to be able to step into her power by taking a step back and looking at the pieces. Yeah. And sometimes that requires that they fall into places that feel a little uncomfortable for her. I hope that this is resonating for you guys. So, or that this is making sense as it's coming out of my mouth. So the message that I feel that Tiki is really trying to say is that understand that if you are going through a challenging time right now, that it is not to make you feel less than what you are. It is an opportunity for you to take a step back and spend time with yourself in order for you to really, really get to know how powerful, how important, how all of your strengths, all of your weaknesses or vulnerabilities, all are important and all play into the fullness of who you are and the fullness of this journey that you're going on. Okay. Which is really calling you for you to wake up, to wake up to the preciousness, the miracle, the fullness, the light, the dark, the masculine, the feminine, the inner child, the divine parent. Like all of these pieces of you are asking to be revealed at this time to empower you. Okay. And so how can we dive into that in feelings of safety, right? Like how can we begin to really recognize how to be empowered? Well, we can go and mess and not mess with, but like get stones like sunstone, okay? And if we revisit what it's saying is like listen to your intuition. You've been compromising yourself because of fear of other people's rejection and it's causing self-sabotage behavior. So how can we notice these self-sabotaging behaviors? How can we notice these shadow aspects of ourselves in order to begin to integrate them? And integration, I know for some people these words are like really confusing, especially if we're just starting the journey. Okay. But it's like if you have a piece of yourself that you don't like, yeah, if you have a piece of yourself that is uncomfortable to you, how can we develop and understand that piece a little bit better so that way we can walk alongside it? All right. Another way to describe it is like, what would Jesus do? Right? Like, if there are people, for example, Jesus loved Judas, even though Judas, and he knew that Judas was going to betray him, but he still loved him anyway because he understood that Judas played a part in the freeing, the liberation of us. If Judas did not play his part, Jesus would not have been put on the cross to save us. Okay. Now I'm going to tie this back into you in terms of this story. Okay. The parts of you, a lot of people want to be like, Judas is bad. Judas did this. Judas is wrong. How could he? When Jesus is saying, Judas played his part. If it weren't for Judas, none of this would have happened. And this was important to happen. This is what I was made for. Okay. So the pieces of yourself that you are denying, shoving away, calling bad, saying that they shouldn't have done it. I shouldn't have done it this way. I shouldn't be this way. I shouldn't be angry. I shouldn't be jealous. All of these judgments that you are calling upon the Judas, the judge within you, yeah, the bad, the shadows, the ego, whatever. There are literally so many names for this thing. Okay. What this is asking you to do is to have Christ consciousness inside of it, to get to know it, to understand that it served a purpose and that its purpose was extremely important for your liberation, for you to rise again, for you to awaken within yourself. Okay. I'm feeling this kind of resonating in some of you, but this is the journey. These self-sabotaging behaviors are considered bad. They're considered terrible. These shadows are considered these bad things. How can we lovingly look at these parts of ourselves that maybe make us feel ucky or less than and say, you know what? You're serving a purpose, a bigger purpose than I can even wrap my mind around at this point, and like appreciate you. And I know that feels weird, but like I'm going to do it anyway because I'm strong enough and empowered enough to do that. I'm strong enough to sit with you and ask, why do you do this? What was the purpose? What was the full purpose and potential of these shadowy behaviors, of these self-sabotaging behaviors? What are you trying to tell me? Are you trying to tell me that I'm afraid? Are you trying to tell me that something big is on the way and I don't feel like I'm ready and I don't feel like I'm enough and I don't feel like I can handle it? Are you telling me that I'm afraid to be rejected right now? Are you telling me that my feelings are hurt? Like, these shadow self-sabotaging behaviors have a message for you about deep subconscious programming and fears. Okay. And it is absolutely vital in this part of your spiritual awakening that you sit with them so that you can step into your empowerment. You're going to know yourself better than you have ever known yourself before. And when you know yourself, then you can develop a deeper relationship with yourself. Yeah. Just like a friend. You get to become your friend. You get to become your parent. You get to become you, fully you. You get to see you. And the journey of spiritual awakening is the journey back to self. Okay. So it was really interesting for me to kind of channel that message because it felt like I said the same thing over and over and over and over and over again in a bunch of different ways. And I'm okay with that because I know that whatever seed dropped may have also been nurtured in this one video. And I just really appreciate Tiki and all of our guides coming forward with just 2 cards and an oracle stone to deliver this message of like, yo, you're about to transform right now. Okay. So don't give up. Don't give in. Don't hide from yourself. Don't try to overcome the shame that might be creeping up in how you feel, in the feelings that you have. Okay, shame can really put a lens over us. Just accept that you feel some type of way. And it doesn't, accepting that you feel some type of way does not mean that you have to take action in that, okay? You can figure out the action later. You don't have to take action right now. What the invitation is to invite acceptance. And when we invite acceptance, to literally say, it's okay that I feel this way right now. And I'm gonna figure it out. I'm going to sit with this and I'm going to allow myself the time to take right action because one of these cards had the word patience in it. Have patience with yourself. Have compassion and understanding for what you're going through and know that you're worthy to go through it. Okay. You're strong enough to go through it. And if you need support, that I am sure that there are healers in your area, including myself, you know, whether it's through Zoom, through phone call, in person, in your community, there are healers around you, facilitators, teachers, friends, family, support that can help you through this time. You do not have to do it alone, okay? And you do not have to take action right now. Now is the time to go inward, to sit with yourself, to allow this awakening to happen organically. So that's it for me. Peace and love. I love you all. And I hope that this reading was helpful and insightful and supportive in your walk. Bye.